representation. Talk us through a little bit more about the male and female character.
Well, basically the male character is the lead singer of the band. So he is, throughout the video you see the narrative of him just going, like you said in the video, he's going to go mad, and we're going to illustrate that by having him, what do we say, having him sit on the floor with his hands like this, and also he's just going to show a very aggressive emotion throughout in general. Also throwing a bottle, which we haven't really decided a bottle of what, but it will probably be a bottle filled with water, a glass bottle, which is going to be thrown against the wall, which we're going to make sure we don't destroy anything.
So a vodka bottle with water?
Yeah, pretty much that was what we were going to ask you about, but that's what we intend to do. Also, I mean the female protagonist, we've talked about the costume, so she's going to wear tight black clothes, leather jacket and so on, high heels as well, but our idea for that was that she's actually not alive, so she's dead, which is why he is going mad, because he can't be with her.
What inner look is going to give her a certain degree of edginess rather than just it's a girl walking down the street in tight black clothing? What else do you want to do with the costume to push her a bit? So the screenshot you had of it, spikes coming out the shoulder.
Yeah, I mean there's you maybe want to go.
We're gonna have like very dark eye makeup to make it more dramatic, and also like a leather jacket with spikes in it.
Alright, so you're going for that?
Yeah. I mean that's why it was.
How are you going to actually achieve that? Is that something you could buy, or how?
No, I have a leather jacket like that.
Right.
With spikes.
Okay.
I don't use it for school, but I have one.
Right.
And also you can, there are types of high heels with spikes on them too, and I know quite a lot of people who have those, so maybe depending on who we get, we might be able to have the same foot size so they can wear those type of heels as well.
With either the male or the female, chains as part of the look?
Chains?
Yeah.
We haven't really thought about that, but I mean that would be a possibility. But generally, like the male, they're gonna have fake tattoos from here up, and then either wear like a white t-shirt or black t-shirt. We don't really know for sure which.
You could maybe consider as well again, say
a
suit jacket, and making it very distressed, or sort of punk's the wrong word, but sort of punking it up.
Yeah, I mean there are loads of opportunities, and I mean there are 5 band members, and Bronwyn, she's very good with costumes and makeup and so on. So.
Do you address casting later in this?
We touch on it.
We touch on it at the end of the video. Yeah, we do. We talk about it.
We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Where's that again?
It's an ish.
Yeah.
Ish outside. Yeah.
Right. And what more is there to it than what we saw?
There's an interior.
Yeah.
Inside.
It's in fact it's an old steel mill, but I mean there's also the railway station next to it, and it's quite, if you film it next to the railway station like the video you showed us, there are no buildings on the other side of that because Esh is still in the form of developing right now, so we can get a lot of good shots in that.
So you have lots of big rooms and lots of scope for it.
Yeah.
And do you intend to set up a band in there?
Yeah,
we do. I mean, because we have instruments, because we've already spoken to the music teacher, Mr. Riley, about lending instruments, and he says he has some where it doesn't really matter that much if they get dirty, as long as we clean them afterwards, so we can lend those, which we've talked about already. And we intend to set them up then inside that place, or outside, depending on where we end up filming.
Right. Pass, so let's zip straight in. Talk to us more about the narrative.
We're going to have both, like, cut between performance and narrative, and the narrative is going to be, I think there's only one point where we have the male and female characters in the same shot. Yeah. And so it's just showing that possibly, like, we haven't decided on this, but the girl has died.
Either she's dead or
it's like representing the relationship dying, and it's basically the male character is thinking about the girl, and we're going to use layering on her so she looks kind of ghostly. We're going to use we might try and layer smoke over her,
around her.
Yeah, and yeah, he's just going to be like mentally thinking about that and kind of going crazy.
And you can, I mean, the point that we want to achieve is that you can just see him from going to normal to just worse throughout the video as well.
I mean, the same as for Rena, and really for most videos, you're thinking about multiple small vignettes to get that across.
Yeah.
But in your case as well, you need to think about what gives it a metal edge. You know, in that context, so if they're eating dinner, you know, is anything that was just the silverware, maybe it's quite simple, whatever it is, got to be something. It's just so the fans watching this not thinking what a bunch of middle class stiffs we have on screen, but it still keeps with the vibe, the brand of the band themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any, you know, these vignettes in mind? What kind of things are we going to see them doing?
Well, we want to film maybe in a bathroom, and either and in a bathtub, and make it kind of look
like a grave.
Yeah, like grungy, and also just basically through the costume.
I mean, it's because we're gonna try to apply Andrew Goodwin's theory by having a link between visuals and lyrics. I mean, which is one of the 6 points he make, but we want that because in one part of the song he's singing about not being able to get oxygen and dig 2 graves. So basically the oxygen part is when he's underwater, and we've looked at a music video called from the band Panic at the Disco called This Is Gospel, where they have the exact same, so you can first see him going down in the water, where they have a close-up of him going down, and then the camera actually being in the water when he's down there as well. And we thought that looked really good, it had a good effect as well. So I think we're going to try to go a bit after that idea.
Obviously you might want to leave the reveal until the very end, and also leave that enigmatic box. You might consider having a procession of people wearing all black, or maybe if there's any cemetery but there's a hillside nearby, so you could do a really extreme long shot of that.
Yeah.
Maybe a pull back to reveal characters sitting there, these kind of things.
Yeah, but I mean, also for the female protagonist, we've just, I mean, because you advised us to not immediately show who she is, so we're gonna have shots of like her shoes, for example, her jacket from behind, so people, like our audience, won't actually be able to see her until actually the middle of the music video, where they can then see her all, and I think that's in the 2 shot. But like our call sheets have been made, like we've Bronwyn is currently working on a storyboard, and I think there's just 30 seconds of the song that we need to plan left, and we've planned the different shots, and it goes from band to another shot of the band to narrative, so it's very varied, because he also said that it's very important to get a variety of shots of the band, not just the same, you know. So we've really tried.
You also probably want some narrative element you come back to recurrently as well. Something else to think about. The thing with face paint, I like. You could also think about how to have shots where you almost get a flickering effect. It's on, it's off.
Yeah.
You know, which is very doable. It's just matching up the shots.
Yeah.
So maybe take shots before you apply it, and take the same shots.
Do you want to talk about the colour powder idea of the 20 people? Do you want to talk about that?
Another idea is we've ordered already some colour powder, and we're gonna have different shots of it being thrown in like slow motion, and we're gonna get hopefully a group of around like 10 to 20 people who are gonna be throwing the colour powder at each other.
Yeah.
Well, right there potentially is your audience interaction element.
Yeah.
These could be competition winners
Yeah.
in the video,
Yeah.
but then you're inviting more for the next one or something. Because it's a rock band, there could be a poster element of
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
You know, but before any of you shoot, I urge you very, very strongly, think of an idea in your video which is going to link in to a competition leading to the next video, which might be an element on the Digipack, and then we'll create a lot of content for the website and for, well, social media content, and it's put all over the website, so it all links in, which is one of the things you've got to answer at the end. Why did your 3 texts combine for a coherent campaign? And that's one really, really good way to do that, is to have a very explicit audience interaction. I say explicit, it actually can be quite subtle in the video, and then made more clear, more explicit in the social media, on the website, etc. And it can be then featured in the Digipack. And you've also got to think about main images for your album sleeve, the Digipack as well. And I'd imagine very possibly either the skull face painting or the platter might work very well for your cover.
Yeah, that was already what we're thinking of as well.
Some flashes of Red Chili Peppers songs were all silver paint.
Yeah.
Springs to mind. Give it away, possibly. I'm just thinking of a really strong visual looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you 4 or 3? Any thoughts, questions, please?
About the powder color, where are you going to do this?
What was the question?
About the color, powder colors.
All right.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be outside, because the thing is, if like the color powder is created in that way that it dissolves itself after a while, because otherwise, I mean, it would be impossible to have to clean the whole up. But it's created from a company in Germany and it dissolves.
Okay.
So it's probably going to be outside rather than having to clean the whole floor up.
Yeah. Okay.
Just in terms of the going gradually insane, that Joy Division video would be a prime example, the Faithless one as well,
Yeah.
of having, in the end, the effect of multiple shots of the same character in the frame.
Which Joy Division song is it?
Disorder.
Yeah. Okay. So.
And it has a character going through drug withdrawal, which is a very similar
That's
physical
actually quite a good example to
look.
at. No, but we've.
You mentioned the thing with the bath and so on. So obviously your singer character cast is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're having the female auditions today of the female protagonist that we want to hire, and then this Friday we're going to have the audition for the band members, and we have about 10 or 11 that are coming to that.
So have you advertised that?
Yeah, on social media.
Yeah, social media, like we've contacted them over Facebook.
So a very quick anecdote for you all. I was meeting with Mr. Thompson, the film festival organiser, and media teacher from ISL, and afterwards gone back to the GAR, and just as we were heading out of GAR, this female student with your age walks up and says, "Hi, could you possibly star in my short film?" Not to me, to my ISL equivalent. And I did, and she went through what it was and when and so on.
Yeah.
So you're not restricted just to the students in the school or
No,
direct.
I mean, we haven't done that either. We had first, I think about 2 weeks ago, we both posted we did a post on Facebook where we said, listen, we're doing this project. We would very much like.
So what are your auditions going to involve? How are you going to judge? What are people going to do? It's going to give you a sense of whether they're going to work or not. Is it just you looking at them, or what's going to happen?
Okay. So for the female character, we asked them to bring in a leather jacket or some heels or something like that, and we're just gonna film them walking up and down.
And also see how they work in terms of facial expression.
You should probably, I don't know if you're doing it all at once, but You'd want to have your male lead cast first,
Yeah.
because the interaction with them, the female, will be quite significant too.
Yeah, but I mean, we have 4 females that are coming to the casting, and I mean, we're probably gonna have the audition first for the males before we can really see where it would work, because I mean, there's also our female. She needs to wear quite how do you call that? Like a crop top or
Like revealing.
Revealing.
yeah, quite revealing clothes as well in the beginning of the music video, definitely. So I mean, it also depends on the girl whether she's willing to do that and feels comfortable doing that. But we know that most of them do. So.
Yeah.
Alright, well that's the most complete run through we've had so far.